Hey guys, Jax Voss here. Uh, Sorry it's been so long, guys. Really, I am. It's just been very difficult. Also, I'm very sorry. I record in front of this. Uh, I normally record in front of this window, and unfortunately, it's a little earlier than usual. It's not quite 7 o'clock yet. So, I'm sorry about this. So if I look kind of grainy, it's because I got two opposing lights coming in and it's not working the way that I was hoping it would. And I even have the ring light on the low light, so gotta make do with what I got here. So, first things first, yeah, I know it's been, since March. And, well, in that time, I've recorded a handful of videos, all of which are terrible. Not one of them is very good. And I know I was trying to do a Jedi relationship series. It just wasn't working well for me. I couldn't get the momentum I needed for it. So I'm gonna, so I'm gonna try to do sort of this little EU discussion here, sort of focusing on the different things in the EU, different timelines, different major stories, uh, and fan theories. Now, when I say fan theory, I know there are fan theories inside the EU. I have to say the number one fan theory that aggravates the heck out of me is when people bring up things that are, in fact, established by George Lucas as fan theories. They're not theories, and they don't even qualify in any capacity because it's not what Star Wars is. That's what Star Wars is. It's not. I do When I ask for fan theories from people, well, let me clarify here. For a little bit, I was on Facebook and I was asking people for fan theories because I was planning to do a video on fan theories. I got nothing. Everyone came up with the lamest crap I'd ever heard from fan theories. I asked for fan theories from Game of Thrones people. I still got crap, but it was better than what I was getting from Star Wars fans. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I need some real stuff here. Like, I swear, either half the people in the Star Wars groups that I'm in know nothing, or they just genuinely don't discuss this stuff anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, like it truly amazes me. I've heard of fan theories. I've heard some. There are some good ones. One of my favorites is actually the I don't ascribe to it for the record. For the record, I do not ascribe to this fan theory. I just think it's a very cool fan theory, which is why it's one of my favorites. Sorry if I keep touching my glasses. They just feel weird today. Of course, they do that every day. So, it's whatever. I couldn't get them to sit properly on my face after, well, never mind. It's not important. I'm going to cut that out. If I don't, well, Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm wearing a Green Lantern shirt. I'm breaking some of the rules here. I always wear a Star Wars shirt. Today, I'm just gonna be me. This is just me. This is what I wear when I'm at home. Well, one of the things. I have like 3 Star Wars shirts that I wear around the house at home, which you've seen me in I think you've seen me in all of them. I think so. I've got like 5 Star Wars shirts. Anyway, what was I saying? Fan theories. Sorry. Sorry, getting sidetracked. My number one, well, not my number one, but one of my favorite Star Wars fan theories, and again, I don't ascribe to this, is that Darth Bane, the spirit of Darth Bane, is actually inside of every Sith Lord until Palpatine. Well, I believe that's the theory. I could be wrong. It could be that all of them from Bane to Palpatine are all the spirit of Darth Bane, but that one doesn't work. And I can tell you why, especially inside the EU. It doesn't work for Palpatine to be Bane's spirit. It's just not possible. Not to mention, he went about things in an incredibly different way from what Bane would have done. Well, no, he was more in line with what Bane would have done than with what Plagueis would have done. But let me explain why the theory that Palpatine is the final host body for Bane. One, well, obviously the Palpatine clones obviously come after, but prior to that, Bane could not go beyond Plagueis. It's not possible. I can tell you why. For one thing, essence transfer requires a direct connection between the combatants, and or at least a close connection, because it requires that. For example, Bane reached out and grabbed Zannah. He grabbed her, and he merged his essence into her body. And together they screamed, and then you don't get either of their points of view at the end of the book, which is why some people think that Bane is that Darth Zannah is actually Darth Bane, just in her body. And the theory goes that from Zannah on down to Plagueis, or at least Tenebris, they're all Darth Bane. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this. There are a handful of reasons why, but in order for the theory to work, it cannot go down to Palpatine. Why? Because Palpatine maintained a very distinct distance from Plagueis when he killed him. He electrocuted him from across the room with Force lightning, and then even after Plagueis died, he didn't touch him. He used the Force entirely to control him, to do anything that would require that, to do any checking that he could do. It wouldn't be possible in that way. Now, with Plagueis and Tenebris, well, if you read the Tenebris short story that discusses Maxichlorians and all that stuff, which I've never understood that stuff. I've always thought that was a weird thing that they added in. It made it even weirder. It made the whole story even weirder. It kind of contradicted the original James Luceno book. I was like, why did you add this in? This almost makes the whole beginning of the book seem out of place. It almost contradicts the entire book itself. But alas, like the idea branching from Bane, even if we go to say down to Tenebris, and the reason I wouldn't go to Plagueis is because if you've read the the Darth Tenebris short story or whatever. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's titled. If you've read that, you know that Tenebris was very familiar with the concept of the Chosen One, and he intended. This is why he had. This is why he had two apprentices, Plagueis and Venomius. He intended to have Plagueis become his new host body. He intended, because he couldn't figure out essence transfer. Now, that's part of where you could argue that the theory falls apart, but that's not necessarily true. Now, remember, Darth Bane, like, the theory of the essence transfer continuum is that over time, the concept of essence transfer changes, and that the essence of Bane is not really there anymore. He's not really Darth Bane anymore. He's gone through so many transitions. He's been male and female, and potentially an androgynous species at once, potentially. Sorry, got something in my eye here. Probably an eyelash. Anyway, it does. I mean, I don't really. This is why I don't ascribe to it. It just doesn't make sense at a certain point, especially when you get to after. Who was it? Darth Gravid. When you get to Gravid, it doesn't make sense because he destroys and hides all this knowledge, and the concept of essence transfer is lost, and that's generations before Tenebris, like several generations, and you're like, how do we get so from here? It's like it can't possibly be Bane all the way down. But the theory's interesting. Okay, like it could be possible for Bane to get down to Darth Vectivus's master. That's possible. It's very unlikely that he was Vectivus unless Bane's spirit had a massive change of heart when he inhabited the body of Vectivus. Due to the fact that Vectivus, well, we're not entirely sure what really happened with him. What we do know is that he did he did not die. Sorry, excuse me. He did not die like a normal Sith dies. He died more of old age, or theoretically of old age. It's possible his apprentice, who I would postulate was Gravid, and I would also argue that Gravid was also his son, because I mean, there's no way that a regular Sith mentor would let a regular Sith apprentice would not allow his mentor to die. It just doesn't make sense. Now, he could have. Now, if it was a son or daughter, because I mean, for me, Gravid being Vectivus' son is a theory, and it's based on the estimated time periods of when they both lived. So it kind of makes sense to me, because it's like that they're both human, and it's a very tiny window in which to add a second, in which you could add another Dark Lord, and it seems like a very unrealistic window to add another Dark Lord in there. It makes more sense to me to go from Vectivus to Gravid. And when I was writing fan fiction, I had this whole timeline of Sith Lords, and I went straight from Vectivus to Gravid to Gian on down till I got to Tenebris and Plagueis and whatnot. But anyway, oh, gosh. Anyway, yeah. So that's more or less the Bane theory. It's not a great theory, but I think it's a fun theory to think about. Again, I don't ascribe to it because, like I said, I just poked a handful of holes into it. Another theory, and now some of you EU people who don't like the uh, the post Young Jedi Knight, some of you people don't like post Jedi Knight, your Young Jedi Knight series, and some of you don't like post New Jedi Order. If you don't like if you don't like post Young Jedi Knight series, like you're not an EU fan. I'm sorry, you're not. The entire like all post Return of the Jedi stuff after the Young Jedi Knight series you don't ascribe to, well, then the story's dead, and you've basically dropped, well, half of the greatest stories out there. And I mean, I understand a lot of things went wrong from there, but they've been published, and it's hard to continue after the New Jedi Order. It really is. But I have gone through all of Fate of the Jedi. I'm I yes, you can be mad at me for it, but it was easier to go through Fate of the Jedi because I also had the audiobooks and they're unabridged and easily accessible. The um, the Legacy of the Force, on the other hand, I cannot find the unabridged. Properly read by Mark Thompson with the full, media sound. Well, moving on. Uh, what was it? Anyway, so if you ascribe to these perspectives, it doesn't quite. The This theory is not for you, and like I can't help you. But you could probably just cut this part of the video out, or ignore it, or whatever. Skip ahead. I don't know when I'm going to end yet. Well, one theory that I really like, and this is a Gilad Pelian theory. I believe that Pelian has, well, I believe he has about 4 kids, 4 or 5 kids just floating around the galaxy somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was a New Republic soldier or something. We don't know. Okay, we can't. A good chunk, like Pelian was clearly, you know, he was he was clearly a ladies' man in his heyday, both his both during the Clone Wars and in his early years, and in the early years of the Empire. He was clearly a ladies' man. I mean, you have, like, it's implied anyway. I forget his one, the son that he acknowledged as his son. I don't remember if the guy knew that he was his son or not. I don't remember, and I'm not about to look it up right now. I don't have the energy for that. I barely have enough energy to do this right now. So just accept that I'm doing what I can right now. Especially because I have not done this in a while. I'm tired a lot lately because, well, I'm working, I'm driving, I'm spending 2 hours a day on the road just to work. And I've had it to the point where I need to get away. So, yeah. But I firmly believe that my point with this, sorry. I firmly believe that Vitor Rej is, or Rej, however you want to say it, like, we have arguments over how to pronounce Twi'lek, okay? There's actually 3 pronunciations. 2 are accepted regularly. Twi'lek is officially not acceptable. Don't ask me why. I think it's the one that makes the most sense. Twi'lek doesn't make any sense. Twi apostrophe Lek. I'm sorry. Twee makes more sense there to me. Twi'lek works. It follows. People, so like, that's Twi'lek is the one that I think. Twi'lek, mainly because Twi'lek makes more sense to me, but officially it's not pronounced that way, so I say Twi'lek. Anyway, so don't get on me about pronunciations, please. We don't even know half of the pronunciations, and I can tell you right now, Mark Thompson and Jonathan Davis are not the be-all, end-all of pronunciations. In fact, Jonathan Davis has mispronounced a handful of things that we have official pronunciation guides for. Not to mention, Mark Thompson has too. For example, the character Joruus C'baoth. It's C'baoth, not Sabaoth. It's C'baoth. Now, I don't know if I've talked about him before in a video. If I have, I may have said Sabaoth, because the pronunciation I had was the Mark Thompson pronunciation. It's C'baoth. It's okay if you've listened to anything, if you listen to anything with him in it that's been read by Jonathan Davis is right there. Okay, but again, neither one of them is entirely right all the time. And in fact, there are times where they're both wrong. It's possible, and sometimes they're pronouncing them different ways as well. Either way, it is what it is. You just have to accept it. People are going to pronounce things different ways. Okay? Moving right along. So I believe that Vitor Rej is Gilad Pellaeon's son. I would have liked to know who Vitor's mother is. That would, or was. We don't know if she is alive or not. We don't know much about Vitor, actually. We know a little, but what we do know is kind of left a mystery. And a lot of people make note, especially in Fate of the Jedi. Well, not a lot of people. Dala and I think someone else thinks that Rej is a lot like Pellaeon and reminds. I know he specifically reminds Dala of a young Pellaeon at some point in the story. It's been a while, and I was listening. I wasn't reading the last time. And there are some books that I've never actually read, so you gotta bear with me on some things. Some I've listened to because it's much easier to consume someone reading to you, especially at work when I'm alone. It's something for me. It's something that keeps me going because I can't do music all the time. I love music, but I'm not that into it to consistently go through it. Anyway, I believe that Vitor Rej is Pellaeon's son. It's a good theory, and it seems like that was being hinted at, because Pelion even thinks a little bit about his son who's dead, and how he and he's thinking about him in relationship to Vitor, and it just makes sense to me that if he's thinking that way, that Vitor probably is his son. And then later, others are saying, well, he seems kind of more, he seems a lot like Pelion at this point. Like, he reminds me of Pelion. People are thinking of him in relation to Pelion. Granted, he was Pelion's aide for a while, but I don't think he was Pelion's aide long enough to pick up a lot of personality quirks. So you have to bear in mind the nature versus nurture aspect as well. But to me, it just makes sense. He seems to remind people of Pelion, and I'm very inclined to believe he is Pelion's son. And I would like that to have been explored more. That's one of the things that I wish had been explored in the books, and why I was hoping. One of the reasons I was hoping that the EU would continue when we had the Disney takeover, during which I was very disappointed in it not continuing. Yeah, so I can't really think of any other fan theories, but if you would like me to continue discussing fan theories and really kind of get into them a little more, because like I could have gone a little deeper into these ones that I went on. If you want me to get deeper into either of the two that I brought up today, please let me know in the comments, because I'll do real serious videos on them. Yeah, and then yeah, if you have any fan theories, any at all, they don't have, like, it just can't be something stupid like when I'm sorry, I just realized I didn't get into what I meant by stupid fan theories. So things like, oh, Star Wars is being sent to us from a galaxy far, far away. That's not a fan theory. That's literally what George Lucas has said. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not a fan theory. That's a genuine in-universe thing. Please don't refer to that. If you post that, I will block you. Okay? I will block you. I almost kicked someone out of a group for saying that to me when I asked about fan theories. Okay, I did. I was this close. This close. I really wanted to, but I knew it wasn't uncalled for. I opened myself up for it. So please, nothing dumb like that. Okay? Sorry. I bumped my table here. Please give me some genuine in-universe fan theories. In-universe, and nothing that connects Star Wars to our universe. Please, nothing like that beyond that the accepted given in the Star Wars universe that theoretically it is a galaxy on the other side of the that theoretically if Star Wars and Earth were in, if the Star Wars galaxy and the Milky Way galaxy were in the same universe, they would be far, 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 far away. We couldn't even measure in light years how far. Well, we could, but it'd be very high numbers. Okay, the idea is that it's being projected to us, and we're getting them centuries, even millennia late. Okay, that's the idea with Star Wars. So think about it that way, please. Okay, and don't bring anything like that up in fan theories. I don't like it. It's stuff that I'm always like, why? Or that's not a fan theory. That's a general accepted fact by fans. Stop doing that. Don't include those. Okay, go with things like, you know, like the theory that everything Palpatine did for for organizing the Empire had to do with the Yuuzhan Vong. Yes, Yuuzhan Vong. Okay, we'll fight. I will fight about that pronunciation only if you get into it with me. I'm not gonna. I will never say Yuzhong. I can't even say it right. Yuzhan Vong. It sounds wrong to me. It's z. It's a zh. There's no zh in the English language. These books are all written in English originally. Like that's not in English, okay? And that sound is never spelled with a zh in the languages that do have that. So don't try to come at me about that one, please. So I will say Yuuzhan Vong. You can say Yuzhan Vong. I can't even say it right. I keep trying to add a G in there. I can't say it that way. That's the thing that always bugged me about listening to Mark Thompson and the post New Jedi Order books. It always drove me crazy. But I still love Mark Thompson's voice. He has a good voice. So I tolerate it. Anyway, please give me theories. And give me theories that you want me to go into. I like fan theories. It's who I am. I'll even accept if you want to go into something involving Indiana Jones. Heck, if you even want to tie Spaceballs into this somehow, I will be very happy. Okay? I'll be very happy with that. Okay? By all means, try to pull those things in. Fun stuff. Okay? But don't give me anything dumb. Okay? Just nothing dumb like that the Star Wars galaxy is the Milky Way. No, it's a galaxy far, far away. It's not the Milky Way. Okay? I'm just not going to acknowledge it. Nothing dumb like that. Okay? I've given 2 examples. Anything along those lines, please don't give me. Please don't. And there may be a day where I end up reading a list of potential fan theories, and I'll be honest, I will if some of them are what I think they will be, I'll start laughing because I'll be like, did you people not watch this for my first fan theories video? Please don't bring these things to me. All right. Anyway, hopefully I can set some time aside with Jeff after this to discuss Firefly and maybe other Star Wars stuff. I have a friend who's asked to kind of go through the entirety of the EU and from beginning in the timeline. So Dawn of the Jedi, Dawn of the Jedi comics, and I guess Into the Void. The first comic and Into the Void kind of intermingle a little bit, so we'd have to sort that out. But we'd probably go with the first comic arc, and then do Into the Void after that. But I don't know. I'd have to see what he really wants to do. So I've got a couple of things with guest stars coming up. I just have to, we just have to get time set aside. If any of you watch Callum Johns, yeah, he's on Cal's a little more, but that's because, unlike me, Cal is single and lives on his own. I'm married and I'm a little busier than he is. So, I got to make things work. I've got, I'm married and I have a social life. Cal just has a social life. Thank God. You hear that, Cal? Wait, Just wait till you find the right woman. Don't go too crazy. Put some real effort into that when you find her, and do take your time. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, any fan theories that you would like to hear about, and if you know somebody who has some fan theories, send them my way. Send them, link this video, please. I would love to have fan theories popping up on my comments section. I need some. Okay, I don't know. You look up Star Wars fan theories. You have to like add like 8 keywords to get to anything EU related, and it is hard to find. It is very hard to find. It's painful, actually. Most of the the only fan theories I could find were ones I was already familiar with. That's how difficult it is. So please, if you can think of any that you recall, it would be that I didn't bring up today, obviously. Please, by all means, look into them. No, please pull up a fan theory. If you can think of a fan theory, just comment it. I'll look it up. I'll look them up. I'll do what I can to see what there is. But please, send me any fan theories you have, guys. But yeah, so anyone looking for Firefly, for the Firefly video Jeff and I promised to do, it's coming. It's just going to take us a little bit to work out our schedules and work out some other things that we are also doing together, so that we can actually set aside time for the video. But yeah, I think I don't know, I may have mentioned beforehand that I was working on, that Jeff and I were, and some other people were working on this project that's kind of been stalled out because I've had some issues. So I hope nobody's looking forward to any special announcements anytime soon from me, because my stuff has been, my special project has been, it's paused anyway. It's been down for a bit. Yeah. Well, all right, guys, I'm gonna sign off here. I'm so sorry about making you guys wait for so long for a new video. I really am, and I know this is not what you want. This is just this is just 40 minutes or so of me just talking. I know you want better stuff than this. Sadly, I don't have anything better right now, because every time I've tried to come up with something else, it's even worse. So this is what we got right now. And I don't think I'm going to edit this video. I think whatever I've done, whatever quirks you may see or anything, like you'll really see where, like how much I edit when you compare some of my earlier videos before I started doing stuff with Jeff. You'll start seeing those. I may start doing some reaction videos, similar to what Cal does, but we'll wait to see on that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and may the force be with you. Goodbye.